I took revenge on my bullies that got me a criminal record. I've always been pretty weird, according to the people at my school. This did stem from home. I don't live in that household anymore. But since my family didn't treat me very well, Mom's side, Dad is in jail, I would isolate myself a lot, to the point where I barely ever spoke at home. This made me very socially awkward and weird, because I didn't quite know how to act around people, so I was an easy target for my peers. I was bullied severely in elementary school, and it carried on in middle school. I wouldn't really socialize with anyone, because I barely talked to my family, and in school, I had no friends. Eventually, I learned to not show emotion because 1. At home I wasn't able to really express emotions, such as crying, because I would be punished, and 2. Because if I were to cry in school, I would be made fun of more obviously, but the lack of expressing my feeling kind of gave everyone another reason to be mean and pick on me more. At one point, when I was in a French class, a group of girls, which picked on me, were sat right behind me. They were doing their usual, making fun of me and throwing stuff at me mainly, but we had a substitute teacher, which meant that no one was behaving, like, at all. They put pieces of glue stick in my hair, and one of them slammed my head against the desk. The teacher did neither, so I simply just told them to fuck off for once, and for some odd reason, I got into trouble for cussing, but they didn't get in trouble at all. I told the teacher, when he was telling me off, that I wouldn't have done that if they would just leave me alone. All this wasn't a big scene in the class or anything, so the lesson carried on pretty easily after the little misunderstanding. Later in the class, I had a really bad headache, and the teacher asked me if I was okay, so I just told him. The girls heard it and gave me a pill of what they said was a painkiller, paracetamol, Tylenol to be specific. I didn't take it because I did trust them. But the following day, I woke up with the same headache. So I was like, what's the worst that could happen? It was some sort of drug, which fucked me up. So my mom took me to the ER, because she didn't know what was going on. I was passed out most of the time, but when I was awake, I was unresponsive and could barely keep my eyes open. I got blood tested, but the doctors couldn't tell what the drug was specifically. I got a bag of fluid, so it could be flushed out of my system. When I was getting my blood tested, everyone found out about my self-harm because I had to pull my sleeves up. All of it led to complications. For a long time, police, social care, and school got involved, but the school didn't punish the girls at all. They didn't even call the parents because I has a lack of evidence, even though I spent 7 hours in there. After that, they sent me death threats online. So I sent them to my school email and printed them out and brought them to the principal. But the school, yet again, didn't even call the parents because they can't punish them for it being online, even though they make assemblies about cyberbullying and the punishment that would be given by the school if IT was to occur. Eventually, in a math class, one of the girls was making fun of me, the whole class, and embarrassing me in front of the whole class. I had enough at this point. I didn't do anything during the class, but I had my scissors prepared. The guy next to me, who I wasn't really friends with, but was chill with, was telling me to calm down, telling me it will be okay, asking me what I was planning to do with those scissors and stuff like that because he could tell I was furious inside. When class ended, the bitch and her friends walked out of class like they didn't do shit. I ran after them, scissors in hand. even though the guy tried to stop me. I pulled one of the girl's hair back with my hand, the main bitch, and started to cut all her hair in one big chunk, while shouting on the top of my lungs, "You fucking bitch, I want you dead." I continued to cut her hair, ignoring everyone around me, until I was physically pulled off her by a teacher. I will never forget the satisfaction of seeing her in a mix of shock and fear, while crying, asking her friend if I actually just cut her hair. What made it more enjoyable is the fact that her little popular friend group didn't even stand up for her at all. They just all watched in shock. I was held by a teacher, so I couldn't do anything else, and got the scissors taken away by a security guard. I got a lot of punishment by the school and by police for aggravated assault, but I feel absolutely no remorse, guilt, or empathy, because I was treated like shit for years, and they had it coming. I get teased by classmates, but not bullied, because no one wants me to do anything to them, and I have a reputation all around the school. Not a good one, but at least I'm not getting bullied anymore. The girl I did it to is terrified of me, and surprisingly, she treats me very nicely, even asking how I am and how my day is going.